Good morning. Welcome to Silverberg's Rhythm 94.7 FM News and Current Affairs program, Viewpoints. For today, my name is Lishman Onisodemoya. It's always a pleasure having you join us on a program that deals on topical issues, interviewing those who really matter. Our guest today will speak to his new office and also will address the recent political developments in Bayelsa State. Not too long ago, precisely on Wednesday, the governor, His Excellency Senator Diri, announced his resignation from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Well, there have been speculations about where people think he should be going to, or where he has gone to already, or if he is partyless. Today, I'm joined by the Executive Director, Social and Human Capital Development, South-South Development Commission. He's also a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, APC. Engineer Preye Aganaba. Good morning. Welcome to Viewpoints. It's a pleasure having you join us this morning.
Good morning. It's also a pleasure.
Can we have an understanding the difference between the NDDC and the SSDC and your new office? What exactly does it portend for the people of Bayelsa State in particular? Congratulations, first of all, on your appointment.
All right. Thank you very much. The NDDC itself is a resource-based revenue-generating agency to address the issues of the Niger Delta. The South-South Development Commission, which was in fulfillment of the promises of the President to try to create regional agencies across the country to dive into particular development issues facing those regions. And if you notice that the commissions for every other region was created outside of the South-South, because there was this misunderstanding between what the NDDC meant and trying to tie it to the other regional development agencies. But kudos to our leaders who were able to have some informal meetings to try to explain that the NDDC is actually tied to oil resources, and revenues from there were tied to the NDDC, and that the South-South Development Commission is just like every other commission, and that it was needed for our own region too. And we want to say a big thank you to the President for understanding. And I think that after the bill was rejected twice in the Senate, but I think after all of these explanations were done, at the third time it was presented, the Senate passed the commission, and the President, passed the bill, and the President signed it into law. So it has come to stay. And also we have to thank our leaders from the zone and the President, who saw the need for the creation of the commission. What it means is more attention from the federal government as far as our region is concerned. And for outside of nomenclature, all right, there is HYPADEC, Hydropower Development Commission, which has to do with resources coming out from the dams to use to develop within those regions. So I think the NDDC and HYPADEC are almost at the same level, but the North Central also has a North Central Development Commission. So you don't create that for the North Central without and then don't create for the South-South Development Commission, because every region has both of them are resource-based funded, so kudos to the leaders from our region across party lines who saw the need to approach the system and then to convince them that we also need our own regional commission. Thank you.
All right, so what exactly would you be embarking on? Do you have a blueprint? Is there like a focus on specific areas, whether it be in transport? Like the NDDC, we know, of course, it covers a whole wide range of areas, and then we know that the source of funding is from the states and from the multinational oil companies and the rest. Where is the source of funding for the SSDC going to come from? What are the projects that people from Bayelsa, I'm very specific about Bayelsa State, that we should look forward to from the SSDC?
Okay. The SSDC is like, the law, the commission is like a quasi-government.
Okay.
You know, and it can go into every area: healthcare, education, roads, shore protection, environmental issues. It's like a quasi-government, and it also part of the law also gives the commission power to monitor projects done by the oil and gas industry within the region. So it's like a quasi-government, and so I believe that all of these areas will be looked into. But for me, as representing the interest of Bayelsa at the commission, we want to focus on mainly shore protection, because that's one of the problems we have here, and then try to see how we can collaborate with the government to do maybe a lot of internal roads. Those are two areas that I'm interested in. And then healthcare, primary healthcare, trying to work with the state government and local governments to run a program on primary healthcare centers across the 105 wards. Those are the three areas that I would want to push forward. But you see, because it's a new agency, we are still trying to do our SOP. We're still trying to do governance structure, and all of these things takes a lot of time, because you have to work between the federal civil service, federal government, the ministry, and then come back to the board where you have several different approval points. So it is not, and because of it's a new agency, anything we do now will be in perpetuity and becomes tradition. So it takes a lot of time to get these things settled. I want to give an example. The Southeast Development Commission was set up in sometime early this year, and I know they are still undergoing some of these processes. So we have to all be patient, but by essence, you know that the ability, capacity to represent the interests of the state, that they should not worry about it, that the president has done the right pick. Not just only for Bayelsa, for the entire board. Our chairman is very experienced, was the former deputy speaker of the House of Reps. A senator from Bayelsa is also chairing the Senate committee. Our MD, she's a technocrat from the private sector. So Bayelsa should be patient a little. I believe that sometime next year we would have settled down, and then things will begin to roll out. Thank you.
Well, about the source, the funding areas, where exactly would you be funded from? Okay,
the federal government is funding.
All right.
They are doing 15% of an equivalent of the FAC disbursements to each of the 6 states. The federal government is doing an equivalent of 15% of that as our funds. So if you put that together, it's quite a huge amount of money, and it's our responsibility to deploy those funds. They are not deducting from the states; they are doing an equivalent. So it's an additional source of funding for the region. So they are not deducting from the states. The law says they are doing an equivalent. So the federal government is putting more money into our region outside of what is coming from other sources.
Is that you are going to collaborate with the state governments?
100%.
In shoreline, well, with the NDDC, sadly so, at some point it seemed as though the government has spoken about the NDDC coming into the state to do projects without consulting them to know exactly where there is a specific need, and at some point there were statements made by the government. So it's good to know that you will be consulting and working with the government of the day to ensure that there is no duplication, as it were, of projects, and then the projects are properly cited. That's good to know.
Well, some of those things are just political, and one has to be honest with them. The NDDC has a state office here. I don't think that projects will be cited without, having an overview and understanding with state government authorities. So those are just political issues, and that's why somehow we are happy that the tide in Bayelsa is changing towards a situation where nobody will feel politically intimidated because somebody is coming up with projects here and there. And it's a good thing, you know. So maybe that will move us into our next topic, you know.
All right. One of the major conversations of the past 4 days. The governor resigned on Wednesday, but did not state where he was going to. But the fingers are pointing towards the APC. While the APC awaits him, the state chapter of the APC seem not to have been consulted, because I have been asking them this question for long and they have not said, we had a meeting with the governor and he's coming to our party. Does it bother you that the governor has not connected with the APC leadership in the state?
Well, I don't think that information is correct. For some months now, we've been having briefings from our national about the possible movement of the governor to our party, and you know, those discussions take place at that level. But they briefed us that it's likely going to happen. That he has resigned is maybe a step towards that direction, but he's welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, and I know that before the final whistle is blown, that there's going to be that one-on-one meeting. I know, I'm very sure about that, but that's, we've not been taken along. No, that's not true. It's not possible for you join a party at the world level, not in Abuja, but you have discussions, because some of these things have a national outlook beyond, you know, local politics, you know. But for some months now, we have been aware, you know, as appointees and political leaders of the APC in Bayelsa, and the governor is welcome. He's welcome to the party, and I must say that there's nothing wrong with the governor moving to the APC. You must understand that long before now, our forebears have always aligned with parties at the national. That is the tradition, our political culture and tradition for the South, because of our own peculiarities. We're minorities. The Izons are the fourth largest group. We produce oil, and we need to sit on an informal, because in governance, there's always an informal table where you sit down. Our leaders have to be on that table, so that those things that we need to do to heal our sweat out of what comes out of our land to feed Nigeria, that those informal meetings can take place for the benefit of our people. So I agree that the APC is national government. We've been here for 10 years, and yeah, the way at the time the party was formed, unfortunately, there was a Bayelsa who was president. APC was formed at that time, and we took over power. There was a lot of, you know, bad blood. But after 10 years, we are moving back to our tradition, political tradition, which is that we are always, from the time of Kilo, always aligned to the party at the center, because of these issues of oil production and wanting to be on that informal table to get things done for our people. So there is not, in fact, even in 2019, Bayelsa has moved to APC, if not for the court issues that returned power back to the PDP. So it's our political tradition for our people to be tied to the party at the center, and there's nothing wrong with it. And if I don't see how the state will not be APC in 2027. Everybody on the streets knows that that's going to happen. So there's nothing wrong with it, and he's welcome. Every member of his party who wants to join, they are welcome. There's not going to be any friction, because we all want the president re-elected. There's not going to be any friction. That is the number one thing on our own political time zone. So I believe that this party is ready to accommodate the interests of everybody, and so that we can get the president elected.
All right, people have been questioning if we can have a governor who does not belong to a political party. Well, I give it to him. He has not spoken about his move to the APC.
If you remember in 2013-14, when some what's it called, 5 governors moved from the PDP, they were in a pseudo NPDP for months. Yes. So it's not strange, you know. They were in NPDP for months. NPDP was not a registered party. It was just, they left the PDP for months. trying to have discussions with the APC.
So did they resign from the PDP and became partyless?
100%. The point I'm trying to make is this:
Yeah.
that they left and from the NPDP and were there. The court said there was no NPDP at the end of the day, and it's just so that they could have a platform.
I wanted to know if they had if they resigned.
They
from
left
PDP.
it. Yeah.
They resigned formally.
Yes.
And then that means they have no party.
I
for a
remember
while.
the day.
So it is possible that the governor can belong to no political party, and there's no punishment for that.
I don't. There is no punishment. You know, the constitution already outlines when a governor can lose office, and I don't think this is part of it. You understand me? You know, it's not part of it at all.
So there have been calls by, for instance, Kenneth Okonkwo on national television, on social media, on the print media. He's been calling for the removal on the strength that the governor, as it were, does not belong to a political party. That's why I'm asking that.
I don't take him seriously. He has crisscrossed several parties, so I don't take him seriously.
There has been talks that the APC is not united, that there is a Heineken faction and there is a Silvers faction, and according to some quarters, they say the governor is romancing the Heineken's area, and they might see that gradually push the Silvers part out of the party into the ADC. How do you react to this?
I'm one of the founders of this party. In fact, I was one of the first 2-3 people who brought this party to Bayelsa. I can speak authoritatively as far as Bayelsa APC is concerned.
Right.
And maybe one or two persons can maybe counter, but not more than that. You understand me? That information is not correct. There is no faction in the party. There is one chairman, his name is Otiotu. Any other thing is just political talk. You see, we had a stakeholders meeting a couple of weeks ago, and you see, when national officers come, they make pronouncements, and those pronouncements were very clear on that. I think it was shown live. So those pronouncements were very clear. So politicians will always talk and try to bolster confidence within their ranks, you know, but it doesn't change what is on ground. You understand me? And there is no division in the party. At the point where all of this is concluded, I'm sure the vice president or chairman, they will all be here and pronouncements will be made. So I don't think that those things are too pedestrian for us to get into. The governor is welcome to join the APC. The APC is one faction. Anybody trying to promote all of these stories doesn't mean well for the president. The reason is this: the governor coming to join APC bolsters our chances, makes it almost 100% that we're going to take Bayelsa. We're going to win Bayelsa. We worked hard enough. The signs are there that we're going to win Bayelsa. The governor coming cements it and icing on the cake. So anybody trying to create crisis doesn't mean well for the president. And maybe that person is a fifth columnist in our party. So I don't think those are too pedestrian for us to bring into the mix. All right. There is one party, and at the end of this, pronouncements will be made. Whatever the national says we should do, that's what I'm speaking as one of the leaders of this party. I've had discussions with every other person. I don't want to mention names, but I've had discussions with every other person, including my friend, the MD of NDDC. Nobody has any problem with the governor coming, and the party is one. Thank you.
All right. For those who say that the governor would likely want to install his successor, while you say there might not be a crisis now, they say when he gets to that time, that because your party already, whether the governor joins APC or not, you already have plans to take over the states by your own plans for 2027 and 28. That means you already would have been thinking of potential candidates who can wrestle power from the PDP. The governor coming in, some say it's like a checkmate. He's saying, I'm checking on you, so you don't provide anybody that you would have wanted to provide. He's checking on anybody who would have given him a challenge in the PDP that he was in, whether they be past leaders or any other persons who have any concerns. It's just coming in to have a direct access to the national, to the president, so he can provide his own successor and checkmate your plans that you might have had for 2027-28. Don't you see a potential issue coming up by 2028? or 27 rather?
I don't think there'll be any problems. Like I said, governor is welcome. The party is big enough to take care of the interests of every person. The interest of every person, party is big enough to do that. And the APC was formed as an opposition party by people who wanted to take over government. And most of our members have been in opposition for a long time. You understand me? So it is unlike the PDP, where people just assume things get done that way. No, I don't think so. Our major interest today is to see that the president wins his re-election, take the votes in Bayelsa. That's our major interest. All of these things will come after that election. So it's not something that we should discuss now. All right? Let's pray that we're all alive until the elections come and go, so that we'll see what happens. But the governor is welcome. PDP members who are with the governor, they are all welcome. Their interest, this party is big enough to take in the interest of everybody. And that any talk of all of this is too early, and I don't see it happening. Either is talking about wanting to, no. I don't see it happening, because we are all going to sit on the table and try to, realign our interest.
It's just that most governors like to be responsible for their successor, because in their words, they have their plans, a member of their team, to continue with the implementation of some of their policies and programs that they may not have fulfilled. So they might have a 10-year, 15, 20-year plan. So a successor helps to carry on with what they had planned. For instance, the governor, Diri, has continued with some of the things that the former governor, Serake Dixon, was doing. Completed the transport terminal, got on with the airport, had the planes flying. He had to ensure that the DHIS continued, and some other policies of the Dixon administration. So it's like a continuity. In that era, Dixon seemed to have succeeded in installing someone who would continue his line. So there's a thought that the governor, Diri, already has someone in his mind that he'd like to give to. And so going to your party defeats whatever plans you had to remove the PDP and install one of your own. That's why I was asking. Does it not bother you?
Well, the governor coming to APC makes him one of our own. You understand me? And it's going to be a renewed hope agenda for Bayelsa states. So let's leave all of that. He's welcome. The party is big enough. We want to win the state for the president, and we're not going to have any issues.
All right. The Senator Henry Serake Dixon has been in the news for following his views with regards to what is happening in the state. And some other persons say that the APC government has twisted the governors. I know you've heard these accusations that they've been twisting the governors of the PDP and other parties, ensuring that they leave for the APC. What do you say to those who have fears about Nigeria probably turning to a one-party state?
I don't see the country turning to a one-party state. The president has done well. I think that the initial policies the president took, we're beginning to see the signs that those policies are turning the economy around, and there's more money for state governors now. And so when you hear governors are moving, they are moving because of the renewed agenda of Mr. President. Where I want to come to Bayelsa, our traditional politics in our region has always been tied to the party that governs Nigeria because of specific issues that affect our region. Our leaders need to be on the table and on the same political interest, on that same line with the leaders of this country, so that we can get a fair share of what belongs to our region. So there's nothing wrong. Bayelsans understand this. That's why in 2019 Bayelsans moved the state to APC, if not for that court, if not for the court issues. All right, and so the governor is doing the right thing. I don't want to get into. There's an informal table where people with the same interest sit down and things happen. I don't think that if for our South-South Development Commission, if we didn't have a Senate president, I'm sure that those explanations wouldn't have been done at the right opportunity or on the right table for us to have that commission. Like I said, the Senate rejected it twice. So, and there are other things too. I can give an example. Sometime under President Buhari, I remember that the state government wanted a federal university. Went to see the president. It was on television. It was a formal meeting. Requests were made. But when that university came out, it was located elsewhere. Not what the state government wanted. That university is in Nimbe now. You see? So that is the point I'm trying to make. On
an informal table, someone who is there can swing things.
Exactly. So imagine if the governor was in APC at the time, and the president does not and the president sees that their political interest aligns, they will listen to him outside of that formal meeting.
But it is said that when you're a leader, like president or governor, you become the president or the governor of the country or the state and not of a political party. Does that not speak to the fact that the APC is only concerned about those who are members of their own cloth?
It's not the same thing. You see, there are things you make, there are requests you make. You ask for favors based on relationships. Things that are statutory, you don't see the federal government denying states, like allocation and other, for states and local governments. Those are statutory. But there are some requests you make, and those things they come as favors. So, and that's what our leaders realize since the time of Okilo, that you have to be there. So there's nothing wrong with the government is doing. It's the right step, and it's for the interest of our people. It's for the interest of our people. And for Governor Dixon, who was governor here, I respect him, and he's one of our voices at the Senate. But and I think that of course he's in the PDP, and he will want his party to have the upper hand here. But it is clear that APC is going to have the upper hand, and he will try every political trick in the book to see how he can create doubt in the minds of Bayelsans. Because in doing this, I don't think they're doing it for the PDP. They're doing it for the ADC, which is likely their next port of call, because the PDP is dead. And the funeral service for the PDP will take place in Ibadan very soon, and I'm sure after then they're going to bury the party, so most of them will move to the ADC. So trying to create doubts is just so that they can get persons to move to the ADC. So the governor has done the right thing. The APC is willing, happy if he comes here. This party is big enough to take care of the interests of everyone, both new and legacy party members.
All right. Not too long ago, just now we had an election where the candidate of the APC, Chief Tinipri Martin Silva, was on the podium across the 8 local government areas campaigning that he be voted into office. And within that period, aides of the APC and members of the APC precisely did say quite a lot. Plus, Chief Tinipri Silva himself, with regards to how the state was being governed and how the APC will provide a better alternative. How come you're so interested in carrying someone that you vilified? Someone you said was a failure, incapable of ruling. Bayelsa should vote him out and vote the APC in 2023. You said he was not performing. Oh, we're constructing only 1-lane road. Oh, there's no lights, there's no water. You said a whole lot of things against Governor Diri, and that he should be voted out, and Silva should be voted in 2023. How come it's just 1 year plus, and you're so lovingly looking for this bride that was not painted with any beauty? What changed with the shades of the brush that you're using at the moment? Why is it special that he comes in now?
Well, we are not looking for the bride. We are only welcoming the bride. We're welcoming the bride. But you must also understand that since the president came in and started with his new policies to try to re-engineer the economy, you will understand that since sometime a few months down the line, after the president started with his reform agenda, that revenues for state governments have improved astronomically, and that has impacted on some of the changes you see in Bayelsa State. I'm sure this state government is receiving much more than any other government has received in the last since 1999, and you can see the government has moved from quoting you from one-lane roads to be.
No,
I can't remember. I'm quoting you from one-lane roads to being able to do, multi-billion naira projects, and we see that going on. So I think it's as a result of the reforms the president initiated, which has brought in more money into states, into the coffers of state governments, and you see that the governors appreciate that. No governor is looking for loans anymore, hardly, and then nobody's complaining about payment of salaries. So, like I said earlier, he's welcome. I believe that when he comes in, we will now have, we'll move from prosperity agenda to renewed hope agenda in Bayelsa State. And for as long as it will help us to deliver the state to Mr. President, we are open to receiving the governor and his supporters.
All right, good morning to you. Welcome. You're live on the radio. Please turn on the volume on your radio set.
Yes.
Welcome. Good to have you join us.
If I'm hearing clear, he said the governor is going to the ruling party to galvanize votes, block votes for His Excellency come President Tinubu come 2027 presidential election. Maybe that was the agenda. That is why His Excellency Governor Diri is leaving his party going to the APC. He has said it. Obvious reason is known to him. He's the one that wear the shoe. So where he's going, maybe it's fitted for him. But he should not forget that it's people mandate that is in question on. The grassroots is people mandate. So come that 2027. If the people at the grassroots do not give him that support, he should not blame the grassroots, because he did not consult the grassroots before he's making these decisions. This is what I have to say. Thank you and God bless.
Can I answer that? 2019, when APC won the state and the Supreme Court returned power back to the PDP, I'm sure the Supreme Court did not consult the grassroots of Bayelsa. So I think that is not that's not fair on the governor. I think that's not fair on him. I believe that this is following in the tradition of our forebears, who have always aligned the politics of this region to the party of the center. And I cannot continue, I have to continue to harp on this because it is tradition. Yes, there were issues about formation of APC. Somebody from here was president, and there was some sort of bad blood. But we are moving back to that tradition, and the governor is doing the right thing. There are 1,001 things that happen on informal tables, and once your leaders are not on that table, you lose out. You lose out. So it's very important that our leaders here and the governors of the region are doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing so that they can be on that table and take decisions that will favor our region. It is not good that other governors who don't produce as much as we produce and contribute to the wealth of this country will decide what comes to Bayelsa or Akwa Ibom or Rivers or other states. It's not good. And we've experienced it. Forget that we're in the APC. We experienced it under the previous president, where because of that, misalignment of political interest, you are not in a position to attract something that naturally should come to our region. But you see that those things begin to, I don't want to begin to get into it, but you see that those things begin to go to other regions. Forget the fact that we're in the same party. Some of us, sometimes you don't feel happy. All right? So today, when those things come up, we'll have a governor there who will make, the position of our state known on that informal table.
Someone is asking a question on the side. Text message here says, "Good day, sir. What are your individual feelings?" As it's, I believe it's meaning you, on the fact that our former president, Bayelsa, might contest. Are you concerned? I don't really, that's what he's saying. Are you concerned? That story had been there in the media, and I think it was Azibola Roberts who said that he's not discountenancing the fact that he might run. What do you make of it? Because you said earlier on anyways that the APC was not accepted because we had a Bayelsa on the throne at that time. What are your thoughts?
President Jonathan is our father. I think he has moved into the realm of an elder statesman. He's not played politics for almost 10 years. And somehow I doubt if he's going to contest. He has moved into the realm of an elder statesman, and I'm sure he has networks around, and I doubt if he's going to contest. I know there's some pressure on him, but he has not played politics for almost 10 years. You know, returning from that state where you are, because that's another level, you know, in our Nigerian structure. I don't think coming down back to being a politician I doubt it. I know that people are saying it, but I doubt it. I wouldn't place a coin on it.
Good morning. Lishman, please ask him what does he feel about the governor being mute on the parties he campaigned to? Is he not proud about where he's going to? Gideon asking this question. What do you feel?
That's for
the governor.
That's for him to answer. Because
is he not proud of where he's going to?
I don't think that we are proud of our party. The president has done well, and for the first time in a long while, we see projects of this federal government dotted across the states through, especially the NDDC. There is no Bayelsa that will not say that the president has reached out to these states more than in any other time in a very long time. So we cannot, I don't think that the governor will not be proud of coming to the, I doubt that is the reason why he has not said anything for now. So Bayelsans have seen the effect of what the president has been doing through just one agency. So I believe that with better collaboration.
That's the NDDC?
Yes, just one agency. I believe that with better collaboration with the state government, we expect that more will come. So the governor, I believe when he comes, will be proud to be proud to be a member of this party.
Ogonadi Emmanuel Theophilus asking if please help me ask your guest, if the governor joins the APC, who is going to be the leader of the party? Good morning to you. Good morning. You want to respond?
Yeah, you see, we have been in this party since 2013, and we've always followed leadership. You know, and the governor comes in. I believe that the day the national is receiving him, pronouncements will be made, and whatever the national says, I believe the leadership of this party will follow what the national says. So those are not issues, they are too pedestrian, you understand me? And I strongly believe that this party has the wherewithal to accommodate the governor and all his supporters, that will sit on the table and then we'll move this state forward to ensure that the president wins by himself.
Let me listen to voice notes that were sent to our number 08038667664.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Preye Aganaba. I stay in Engr. I want to ask our guest in the radio station, Prince Preye Aganaba. The governor resigning from the PDP and not officially coming to APC or going to another party, is he legally accepted constitutionally, or he can just stay? Is there no constitutional punishment in addition to that? That is one. Then two, is our guest in the radio station assuring us that any day the governor comes on air to be welcomed by APC, we see all APC leaders there to receive him, that of the life of Diri and Lobobiri, as one party to receive the governor If that is done, then that means if these questions are answered, that means we believe we are good to go and also to work with the governor for a better development. Thank you.
All right, thank you also.
I want to answer that question.
All right, it's like a 2-in-1 question, right?
No, the one about, I believe that at the point of receiving the governor, when he's ready to come, that every leader of this party, we've been talking, will be there to receive the governor. Because I am sure that at the highest level, the vice president will likely be here. So every leader of this party will be there to receive the governor. So nobody should think, there's no division. People can have, differing opinions on how to run the party, but there is no division. It's clear that there is a structure of the party recognized by the national, and that is what the national is dealing with.
You seem to speak as a man of peace, and I kind of like that. That's how the governor also speaks, like a man of peace. But in the state here, we know, we live here, there are factions. There is a Timi Pre-Silver faction.
Okay, who is the chairman of it? If you talk about factions, and there should be a chairman of a faction.
There are camps.
In politics, there are camps. In politics, there's nothing wrong with camps.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with camps. Nothing. There's nothing. Even in my Kolga, in APC, there are camps. We are going to meet today. There's nothing wrong with camps. But faction, no.
Okay.
Faction, no.
So there are different camps in the APC?
Yeah, there are different camps, and it's allowed.
But there are
even in the PDP,
factions.
Even in the PDP, there are different camps.
All right, so all the members of the camps, the various camps, will be around to welcome
everybody will be around to welcome the governor. I'm speaking because I spoke to, we did a lot of back channel discussions yesterday before I came in this morning, and I'm speaking with that authority that everybody, I don't want to mention names, all right, but everybody will be here to receive the governor. There were 5 governors of the PDP who were partyless.
Sorry,
but there were 5 governors of the PDP who left the PDP, and in the space of 1 or 2 months, they were in discussions with, let me say, in the space of a month, they were in discussions with the APC before they moved into the APC. You can Google it and check. You can Google and check the timelines. Right. So, and in fact, I remember when they said they were in NPDP, the federal government at the point tried to stop them from meeting. I believe there was a meeting we had at the Kano Governor's Lodge, and some police officer even went there to stop the meeting, to say that the NPDP is illegal, So I don't think, it's not novel, and there are clear guidelines on how a governor can be in trouble constitutionally, and trying to mention sections that give flip to how one can contest, how one can be eligible to contest, and wanting to use that as how one can be eligible, can be removed. I don't think that, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that those two sections go hand in hand. I don't think so.
You said that the resignation of the governor did not come to you as a surprise, because in your words, you are aware of meetings that have been happening, because I asked if the state level was not carried along, so he can also get that, just as a recap.
We, I think I'm the highest federal appointee in Central. I was briefed a couple of weeks ago. I was briefed a month plus ago that this is likely going to happen. And Wednesday too, I got information that Wednesday was going to happen from the center. Not just me, I'm sure that other people were also briefed. So it is not strange. It is not strange that he has resigned. It's clear that he's likely going to come to our political party. So we'll wait for that time to happen.
And so discussions have been happening between the governor and members of your party?
Yes. Yes.
There are people who were saying this, and it was said it was rumored.
It's not rumored.
That the governor Diri had been meeting members of the APC for months before now.
Well, I don't want to tie a timeline to it, but there have been discussions. It is not news to some of us.
Okay. And now to the key reasons why anybody should support Asiwaju for a second time. What are the achievements? so to speak, of the administration?
Well, we can. Things were a little tough because the president took very tough decisions that other presidents were afraid to take, especially removal of fuel subsidy, also subsidy of foreign exchange, and that people thought that he was able to manage the economy not implode, and we are beginning to see those dividends. If you check, dollar is almost stable. The problem with the foreign exchange is volatility. That's the problem with foreign exchange, because immediately people know that dollar will exchange for this band. People with their businesses will come in because they know that they can project long term. So it's not about the quantity of exchange, but volatility. And you can see that the Naira has been stable for almost over a year now. In fact, it's even coming down because of the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy. Today, Dangote is producing fuel, and we see that we are not spending as much foreign exchange to import as we used to do, because importation of fuel, is the biggest, makes the biggest demand.
We still import though?
Not as much, because import, and it will come down. The Dangote is a work in progress. Dangote refinery is a work in progress. So, and then we're expecting that the Bua refinery is also going to come up, and all of this will reshape the Nigerian economy. I believe that Nigerians are beginning to see the direction of those policies. Price of foodstuffs is coming down. Inflation has dropped for the second time in 2 months. It's below 20% now. It was over 30%. It's dropped to 18 point something percent. And so the president's agenda, his policies are beginning to take shape. I believe that Nigerians forget easily. And sometime in January, after the December rush, I believe that we'll begin to see more of these policies, go down to the grassroots.
Because when you say these things, the figures are cool. Even the World Bank did say that the government is doing so much. We also have, I know that we also had the former conversations from even Okonjo-Iweala, who said that, well, she's impressed by all of this. But as much as she is impressed, and everybody's impressed, the World Bank still did say that we had over 130 million Nigerians living in poverty. And then we also had lots of persons would say that it's not translating to their daily lives. They're not really seeing value for the Naira, as it were. No matter how the government did increase the minimum wage, we still have not seen the value of our Naira in the purchasing power out there. What are your thoughts with this?
Like I said, all right, with time, we are beginning to see those policies reshape the Nigerian economy. What is remaining is more time for it to trickle down. It's trickling down. The prices of food is coming down. Rice, a year ago, everyone was talking about the cost of rice. Today is down to almost what it was pre-Tinubu. So I think with time, Nigerians will see that these policies, though they were harsh, that we needed it to reset our economy. There was no way we would continue paying fuel subsidy and this economy wouldn't have imploded. So for this reason, and for the fact that it is almost impossible not to see state governors using government money to develop their states, and that is as a result of the president's own policies. I don't see how the president will not be re-elected. I don't see how he will not be re-elected.
Thank you for stopping by this morning. Like I said, I was just going to give you time for your final thoughts.
Okay.
Different from all the questions we've asked.
Yeah. So I just want to let Bayelsans know that as executive director in the SSDC, that they are to cover the interest of our states and also work with the state governor, so that whatever we can bring to the states, we can bring it to the states. Because Nigeria is the way Nigeria is structured. When you're at the federal level, whatever you can bring to your state, don't waste your time to bring it. But you also need a very conducive environment for that to happen. So that's one of the reasons why you see me here expressing happiness that and joy that the governor is likely crossing to our party, so that we can have that synergy. So Bayelsa should be rest assured sometime early next year, we'll also start employment. Those employment will be open to Bayelsans. There will be quotas that will go to each of the 6 states, and the one for Bayelsa open to Bayelsans to be employed. So they should be rest assured that whatever is due this state, that I have the capacity to bring it down to Bayelsa, and that nobody should be afraid. And somebody talked about going around for stakeholder engagement. We are working on the governance structure, our SOP, and without that you cannot move out, because you have to keep your house in order before you go out. And these things take time. You should remember when the NDC was set up, they were in an office in Old Jerry in Port Harcourt for months, trying to put their house together, because any mistake you make and you spend government money without going through the outlined civil service structure, puts you in trouble. So we are all trying to be very careful. So approvals must come from where they are supposed to come before we can now say, oh, we are ready to go out. So they should be patient with us. Once we do that, we'll hit the ground running. The president is very interested, even more in our region more in our commission. In fact, because of the interest of our commission, others are getting some light. That is just the truth.
Like the South-South Development Commission.
Yes. Because of the interest in our commission, those who have been, like the Southeast, who have been around for some time, because of the drive to get ours going, they are now lashing on us to also get what we are getting. So I believe that sometime early next year, we'll be ready to start our stakeholder engagement and all of that. So we will try to do as much as we can, collaborate with the state government, collaborate with the NDDC. In fact, we're looking at partnership with the NDDC for big ticket projects. Also do the same with the state government, so that what's that 15% that the federal government is donating, that matching fund can be properly spent here. So I know some persons thought it was a deduction. It's not a deduction. It's a matching fund. 15% of what comes to Bayelsa every month, the federal government will match it and put it in the South-South Development Commission, along with 15% from the other 5 states. So let's wait until January. On the politics of the state, welcome the governor. I'm particularly happy we are from the same constituency, from the same local government. I vote in Ward 3, he votes in Ward 6. So I'm particularly happy that it's coming. Bayelsans know the contentious elections we had in the last time, and it's not good. It's not good. When we put lights in OD, they turn the story around. Oh, you want this, you are doing, everything is anti this. So it's in fact, I'll even say something. When we're trying to put street lights on the east-west of the road, because people thought it was going to give votes to APC, some persons in the PDP came to try to stop the project. Yes, they stopped the project. That the governor is going to do it. We should leave it, and we left it, and it wasn't done. It was after the elections that we came and finished the light. So see, all of those things. If I didn't have the wherewithal to go back to request, it would have been that way up until today. So I'm happy, particularly happy. I am somebody who looks back home, and I don't wait. I don't like to waste time. So I always thought about what are we going to do if we come with projects and they think that these projects are politically motivated, but today that fear is no more. So I want to also talk to our base. There's nothing to fear. We are opposition people. We are not we are opposition people. Nobody can come and push us aside. You understand me? We know how to play opposition. Nobody can come and push us aside. So there's nothing to fear with opening our arms to receive everybody. Because if there is any crisis within this, if there is a kink in our armor, if there is a perceived crisis, we may lose people who will come with the governor and lose some who are with us. And where will they go to? ADC. that's where they will go to, because as far as we are all concerned, the PDP is dead. So for that, we are willing to receive and open up our party so that we'll have one big house. It has happened in this state before, where this state was a one party, nobody complained, was a one party state. So that there's enough to go around, as far as I'm concerned, with the state and federal agencies. There's enough to go around. So our people should relax and wait for the instruction from leadership, and then we'll just take it up from there. So I don't know if there's any other thing I want to talk about. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you also for stopping by this morning, for listening to us here at the Lakeside Studio. Viewpoint comes away every Saturday, 8:15 a.m. Our guest today has been Engineer Preye Aganaba, the Executive Director, Social and Human Capital Development, South-South Development Commission. Do you have an office in Bayelsa?
We will have state offices.
All right.
We will have state offices in all the 6 states of the region. I'm sure that by January we should have that office.
All right.
Yeah, it's in our budget for this year. So sure that by January we'll have that office.